Welcome back. In this tutorial, I'll be teaching you the CSS nav, which is also the CSS navigation bar, right? So having easy to use navigation is important for any website. For you to have an easy to use navigation bar in any is important to any kind of website you are building. Okay, and now with CSS you can transform boring HTML menus into good looking navigation bar, right? With CSS you can transform a boring looking, like a very boring looking, an ordinary list menu items into a good looking navigation bar. And what I'm going to do, I'll create a vertical, and a navigation bar has two types. You have the vertical navigation bar and the horizontal navigation bar. All right, so navigation bar is also, you can also call it list of links, because a navigation bar needs a standard HTML as a base. In our example here we'll build the navigation bar from a standard HTML list. Okay, so a navigation bar is basically a list of links. So using the UL, which is the unordered list, and the li for the element, which is also li, which is list element, makes perfect sense. So now what we're going to do here, now I'll just go to our text editor, and I'll create a new just a navigation bar. Different types we have. I'll create the vertical navigation bar and the horizontal navigation bar, but already I have my folder created, so I'll just come open and fetch my folder. So go to desktop and navigate to nav. Here it goes, so just select it. Okay, so I'm just going to make this wide. Alright, so come here, I'll create a file, create an index file, index.html. Okay, so having done that, I'll create a CSS file. So I'll create a CSS file. CSS file, name it style.css. Okay, style.css. So now let's start with our index.html file. Let's wait, let it finish loading. Let's wait while it's finished loading. Still on it. Okay, now we'll have our HTML and CSS file created. So come to our HTML, we'll do our normal. Okay, all right. Okay, so So we have our head tag. Okay, let's give it a title. Let's give it a title of navigation bar, right? Okay, we'll have a link. So have a link. Okay, so our body now, let's start our body. So since we'll be dealing with navigation, so what we'll need our unordered list of menu. Okay, you can either use unordered or ordered. All right, for the case of this tutorial, I'll be using the unordered list. All right, and inside this unordered list, and as you know, navigation are lists of links that will redirect you to other pages in your website or outside your website. So now I'm going to add the anchor tag that shows that yes, this navigation is a link, not just a list. Okay, so the anchor tag, we have the href attribute, and we'll set it to none, so it won't go anywhere, right? We set it to nothing so it won't go anywhere. So we'll call this home. All right, so what we just do, I'll just copy this out, right? Copy, now paste. How many are we going to have? We have let's say paste. Let's just have this 4. So come back to this and change the name. Let's call this, let's say blogs. Okay, gist. Okay, I don't know, you can just put anything you want, songs. All right, so let's see how this looks on the browser. See how this looks on the browser. So I'll just change this desktop. Go to the folder nav, inside nav index.html, enter. Okay, now we have all this. Okay, now we have our navigation bar. This is our navigation. So it is now time for us to style it. Okay, now we can now style our navigation bar. All right, so now let's style our navigation bar. What are we going to do here? Go back to our text editor. So we'll come to CSS. Now we are styling our navigation bar. So you start the UL, which is the whole list there. Start the UL. I will give it a list type of none. Like I said, when you set it to a list type of none, these bullets here will all disappear. Okay, list style type, style type of none. Okay, now all the refresh. I think I've saved it. Okay, now I haven't. Ctrl S. Okay, refresh. Oh, sorry, I haven't linked the CSS with my HTML. I forget this a lot. Href to be style.css. Okay, so now we have the link. So let's refresh, and now it's gone, right? So the next thing we are going to do here now is come to the style. Then we'll set the padding the padding to be 0, okay, and set the margin to be 0 as well. All right, so okay, so let's go and check. Now you see it moves to the extreme end because we set the margin to be 0 and we set the padding to be 0. Okay, so which means we know we just specified just 0. We didn't specify if it is for the top, bottom, right or left. But once you just put one digit, it's the same thing for all the other four sides of the padding or the margin. Okay, so now the next thing we are going to do here now is next thing we'll do here is we'll set the width. We'll set the width to be whatever we want it to be. So width, let's say width should be like 60 pixels. Okay, which should be 60 pixels, and let's see how that looks. Okay, not much changes. So with the width should be 60 pixels. Okay, now the next thing we are going to do now, we are going to style the list itself, right? We start the list itself, li, and the link inside li. Okay, so I don't know if you understand that this li is the list and the a is the link. That is the link, that is the anchor tag that is inside li. All right, so we are going to style the both. We'll give it a display, of block, and let's see what that does. Give it a display of block and let's see what that does. Nothing actually. Still, so give it a background color. Background color to be, let's say, I'm not sure what this color is, but I've not tried it before, so let me just see what this color is. Let's see. Okay, so let's see what it looks like. Okay, so this is it. That is what it looks like. Okay, now for us to now make our list to be vertical, though is vertical, so what we will do now is to the next thing we'll do here now is to set a padding. We'll set a padding. Set the padding here. The top should be 8 pixels. Use the top to be 8 pixels. Okay, then the right 0 pixels, the bottom 8 pixels, and the left 16 pixels. So let's see, take a look. Let's take a look. Now you see. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do now, we'll put the text decoration to be none, so that we remove those underline text decoration. We put it to be none. So you notice what will happen. Now, the underline there is out. Okay, the underline there is out. So we'll now set the link color on hover. What this means is whenever we put our mouse, whenever we bring our mouse close like this, now that I brought the mouse close, nothing happened. So I want to set it that whenever I bring the mouse close, my mouse close, it should bring out a certain color that yes, my mouse is here, that will indicate that my mouse is touching like that will indicate that my cursor is touching the element. You get it now? So what I will do here now is I will just come here and list LIA, then I'll use a pseudo class called hover. Okay, use a pseudo class called hover, and I'll set the background. I'll set the background to be the background color to be I think alright, that's gray. I don't know most of these hexadecimal colors, so the color should be gray, and the color of the text should be white. Alright, so let's see how this looks. Okay, so let's see how this looks. Now you see how it looks exactly. Okay, now because for on hover when we move our cursor close on each of the list here on hover, now it changes the background to be gray and the text to be white. That is what we are saying here on hover. All right, so the next thing we are going to do, we are going to show out the active or current navigation bar. If you notice in most sites, if you are in the home page, it will bring out a different color on the navigation that yes, this person is in the home page. And if you move to another page, the color will move from that home page to the navigation bar of the present page you are. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you the active or the current navigation link. Okay, I'm going to show you the active or the current navigation link. So before we do that, let's go back to our HTML and let's make one of these. Let's give it a class called active. So give it a class called active. Let's say we give it this home. Give it a class called active. All right, so let's go back to our CSS. Okay, so now for us to style this, so we have two types of styling for this, right? We'll style for the active, that whenever we are in the current page, it should bring out this color, and the color of the text should be a particular color. And if we are not on the active page, then the color of the text should go back to the original color, and the color of the background should also go back to the original color. And this is what I mean. LIA, right? LIA dot active. All right, now we'll set the background color. We'll set the background color to be gray, which is still the normal 555 gray. We set the background color to be gray. All right, and we set the color of the text to be no, how will I use gray? I use gray for hover, so there might not be different. So let me just change this color. Let me say green. Okay, let me say green. So then the text of the color of the text now will not be white. Let's say white. All right, so white. Okay, so and okay, let me say this. So let's run this. Now you see what I was talking about, right? Now this green here shows that we are presently in the home page. Okay, it shows here that we are presently in the home page. All right. So it shows here that we are presently in the home page. So I think there is a way I can make this look wider. So let me check width of 60 pixels. Let me say 200 pixels. Let me make it look wider. Yeah, here we go. Right, here we go. We can all see this now, right? Okay, so the next thing now we are going to do, we've done for the active state, which shows that here currently now we are in the home page. Okay, now we want to change it. We want to also give it a styling that if it is not in the home page and it moves, let's say the next active state is green, is blog, then the home page should retain its original color. All right, so now set it out to be li dot hover. So use a pseudo class, use a pseudo class hover automatic typing, hover not active. Okay, so now we set the background to be the original color. All right, background color to be the original color, which is gray. We have 5 5 5. All right, background color to be the original color. I think there's a mistake here. There's a mistake here. Okay, and the text color should be still retain its color white. Right, okay, so let's see how this looks here. Now the reason why it's not moving to this next one here is because with the back end hasn't been programmed. It has not been programmed for it to move from one end to another. Okay, so see, let's try. I think let's try instead of using this. So let's just say this will be home. Okay, and this will be blog. Blogs. All right, gist, songs. Okay, so let's see. Still not going. Okay, it can't go because there is no back end code. I will make it to move from one navigation to another. Okay, so it can't go. All right. So that is that with the vertical navigation bar. Okay, so right about now we are going to check the horizontal. Okay, and the only difference there is for the horizontal, the only difference there, for the vertical, the thing we did here is to change where is it, to make it block, the display type to be block, right? So to make it horizontal, what we'll do here now is to make it an inline. To make it an inline. So that is just the only difference. The only difference there for the horizontal and, okay, let's see if, okay, go back. Let's see if I can have the two of this. Okay, let me just copy this. Control C. Give a line break and paste this here. So let's see if I can save. So every other styling is different. The only difference here is the inline. The only difference here is with the inline the only difference here is with the display block, right? Now supposing I change this display that is blocked, I'm going to change it to inline. Supposing I change it to inline, right? So see, it will make it, so I've done a mistake. Let me just delete this. Let me just delete this and run it again. Okay, so we change that to inline and we'll float the item. Okay, we'll change it to inline and we'll float the item. Okay, I think that's just another entire, okay, let me just code it. Okay, so let's leave this the way this is. So go back and let's say I code it. Okay, and say I give this one a class of hurry now. Okay, say now I want to style the class called a UL with the class called hurry nav. Am I correct? Hurry nav. So what I would do is this. So I will still give it all this property. Right? So here now I will give it the li say the li display should be inline. Hope I'm not missing out something here. Let's see. Li display should be inline. Or should I give it a class also, just to differentiate them? Give it a class. Nav. So I'm just going to copy this. So I'm just going to copy this. Paste it here. Paste it here. Paste it here. Okay. So I have to refresh. Alright. So we have a list with a class called nav. Okay, so give it inline display. Let's see if it changes. So let's see if we can float. If we can float, let's say float left. Why is this not working? Okay, so let's just delete this and use this instead. So let's start the styling again. Okay, for our horizontal now, we have the UL to do. Give it a list style, type to be none. Okay, give it margin 0. Okay, padding also 0. Padding 0. Give it a width of let's say width of 100%. Let's give it 100%, right? A width of 100%. So let's see, fresh. There's no much change here. So give it a background color of okay, so we give it a background color of background color of okay, give it this background color, refresh. All right, so the next thing we'll do here is for the li. The li now will now be, we'll float the li to the left. Okay, float the li to the left, then the lia. The lia, we have a display. We have the display of block. We have the display of block. We have a color. We have a color of white. We have a text aligned. Text aligned to be centered. To be center. And we have a padding. And I have a padding of 14 pixels top and 16 pixels right. Okay, and give it a text decoration to be none. Text decoration to be none. Okay, so let's see how this looks. Where did it go? Let's set this to be 555. It should be gray. Let me say black. The black is refresh. What's happening? Okay, so we have it back. All right, so the next thing we're going to do here is to set the next thing we are going to do is to set the hover. We have lia, then using the pseudo class hover. Give it a background. We'll give it a background of a background color of black. So let's give this gray. Now you see it. Okay, give it a background color of black. So I will also give the active. Let's copy this. Let's copy this. Okay. All right. Then we'll also copy this when it is not active. Okay. Yes. All right. Alright, so let's just leave it the way it is. Alright, okay, so we have okay, let me label it, let me give it a label. Let's call navbar. Horizontal navbar. Okay, so having known all this, we have come to an end of our tutorial, the CSS navbar. Now see you in the next tutorial. Bye bye.